your pet. And what's your pet's name? Everyone got a prize for something. There was the noisiest parrot, the handsomest frog, the friendliest fishes, the yellowest canary, the busiest ants, the brightest goldfish, the longest dog, the fastest mouse, the softest puppy, the slowest turtle, and many more. As the last prize was awarded, someone shouted, "Look, here comes Archie!" "Hello, you're just in time. What's in your bag?" "My pet." "May I see it, please?" At that moment, the cat showed up. The other judge called out, "A blue ribbon to the nice lady for the cat with the longest whiskers." Before anyone could say anything, he pinned a blue ribbon on the old woman. Then the judge came back to Archie. "And what kind of a pet have you got?" "A germ," answered Archie. And what's your germ's name?" Archie thought for a moment. "His name is Al." The judges whispered to each other. A blue ribbon for Al, the quietest pet in the show. As everyone was leaving, the old woman came over to Archie. "He's really your cat, isn't he?" she said. "You should have the ribbon." "It's okay," Archie said. "You keep it." And he ran to join his friends. On their way home, they passed the old woman. "Thank you for the ribbon," she called. Archie smiled. "It looks good on you. See you around." "See you around," she said.
The Snowy Day was the first book that was really my own. In the process of doing it, my style changed, and the focus of my work changed to those things I cared most about. All that had happened to me as a child, both good and bad, became meaningful.
In 1963, Ezra Keats won the Caldecott Medal for The Snowy Day, which introduced Peter, whose feelings were much like Keats' own as he grew up in Brooklyn. Peter now appears in many more books. Sometimes books are inspired by a special remembered image.
I could use all this experience in my books. Discovering snow, loving colors, learning to whistle, loneliness, running away from home, growing up, and discovering that there were girls. When I was 5, my mother would awaken me at dawn, so I could see the sunrise. It came up over these rooftops, which I painted when I was older. This one is a painting of my parents I did when I was 17. Those were tough times. I used house paints and everything I could lay my hands on. My mother encouraged me to paint, while my father was worried that I would starve as an artist. But he managed to get me paint anyway. When I asked him to pose for this, he wanted to wear a shirt and tie, but I painted it as it was. This is a night scene of the candy store across the street. It's the kind of lonely street corner Peter might have walked through. Where does Peter come from? Long before I ever thought of doing children's books, I found these photos in a magazine. The boy's expressive face, his clothes, his gestures captivated me. For years, he was on my studio walls or stuck away in a drawer. When the book was finally finished, I inquired at the magazine how long ago these pictures had been printed. To my astonishment, I discovered that I had known this little boy for 22 years. A class of children drew their own pictures of Peter's dog, Willie. And they all looked at the same dog. Look at this one. Here is some of the collage material I use in my work.
This paper was used to make pajamas for Peter to wear in the snowy day. This became Sidewalk in Whistle for Willie. And a pretty pattern like this was used to make a dress for a girl in Whistle for Willie. Since this paper looks like wood, it became a fence in A Letter to Amy.
I get ideas for my books while walking along the street. I'm doing research for lunch. New York City is never finished. They're tearing this building down. I think about the people who lived here. Scenes like these find their way into my books. Every artist puts the world he knows into his work. The world I have known, I share with you in my books.
Ezra Jack Keats put the sights and sounds of the city, its shapes and colors into many of his books.